4, 3, 2, 1, let go. Level up, 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 level up. All this on me so yummy, all this sauce so yummy. Know you want this yummy, yummy all in your tummy. Level up, 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 level up.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Lily Rose Lee, born Michelle Knight, was kidnapped on August 23rd, 2002, and held captive until May 2013, where she was rescued with 2 other women from her kidnapper. Upon her rescue, Lily wrote a New York Times best-selling autobiography, Finding Me, which not only tells the story of what happened inside her kidnapper's house, but also uncovers her tremendous childhood before her captivity. Lily's second book, Life After Darkness, picks up where her first book left off and tells the story of her finding her purpose, true friendships, and healing and happiness. Lily made the decision to change her name to Lily Rose Lee, symbolizing her favorite flower and representing patience and love. She is passionate about inspiring others and enjoys speaking to organizations, groups, and at events where she can share her experience with God and inspire others with her unwavering hope and faith. Her goal is to provide encouragement and support to women and children facing similar situations, letting them know that they are not alone and providing helpful resources. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Lily Rose Lee, moderated by Latasha Watt.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much. Can you guys hear me pretty good? I'm hoping so.
Yes.
Great. Is Lily on?
We're here, Tasha.
There you go. Hi, Lily. How are you?
Doing good.
Thank you so much for taking the opportunity. I know you're out on the road today. I knew I would. So we're so happy that you are here. So thank you so much for pulling over, you guys, and taking the time out to do this. So we really appreciate it, and we know you're going to get back on the road because you're busy. You're busy helping so many people. So we appreciate you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to hold our questions to the end. If you guys have any questions afterwards, she will take them. We do have a few ground rules. We ask that you do not ask about the other 3 girls in the house. She's not going to be able to make any comments regarding that. We also ask that she's not going to answer any particular questions about her captor or her or the family. And also, she's not going to answer any questions about her son unless she brings them up herself. Correct?
Yes.
So let's get started. So Lily, thank you again for joining us. So for those of you who don't really know the story, Lily was there, like I said, 11 years. And we want to know, this is all about your life after darkness. You experienced so much, and we're so proud of you. When you were in the house, what kept you going? What motivated you and kept you strong?
What motivated me and kept me strong is the hope to see my son. And second of all, just God's good gracious shining down on me each and every day.
Yeah. And what was the one thing, you were gone 11 years, what was the one thing that was the most difficult for you when you were released?
Telephones, cell phones, anything that had to do with technology was crazy. Because when I went missing, it was only cell phones and beepers. And that's the only source of communication that we had.
Yeah, you really don't think about that. But I mean, you're tech savvy now. You're tech savvy now.
Yes.
So in terms of healing, let's talk about healing a little bit. In terms of healing, you were abused before you were into the house. So your life, how were you able to heal from this? How were you able to, knowing your life was, not the greatest before you went in, before you were, kidnapped, and then exiting from that, being rescued from that, how did you heal?
It was really difficult. I really didn't know who to trust. I didn't know who to talk to. It was really just an ongoing process that kept on going. It was a emotional roller coaster each and every day. And what I have learned is you have to take one day at a time, and you don't let the dark past define who you are. You got to rise above the dark past and let it know that it don't control you anymore. Because if you allow it to control you, it's going to do more damage than good.
Right. Right. Yeah. So if you had that, and not letting it control you, what are some of the things that you do today that helps you? Because we always talk about healing as a lifelong process, right? So
Yes.
certain things will trigger you. So what do you do when you're triggered? If it's a smell, a touch, a voice, what do you do that you can advise the kids for? Advise them.
For me, generally, I would tell myself it's not the object that done the pain to me. It's the person that was wearing it, the person that was talking to me, the person that abducted me. Because not everybody, not every guy, not every woman, not every person is the same, and we can't treat it like that. People have to understand that the stuff that happened to you, especially like certain smells. I had a really bad problem with certain smells, like anything that smelled like him. I would shun away from. I would walk away, and I would tell them, it's not you. It's not you. It's because I was feeling some type of way, and to let them know that the person was not the problem. It was what they were wearing, how they were talking to me. If a person cooked a certain type of food or played a certain type of song or played a guitar, it was really hard to be around those type of people. But I learned as I went along. And what also helped me is being able to express it to somebody, even if it's a friend or a family member or just my husband, just being able to express myself on what was going on and how I felt about it. It kind of gave me a emotional release in a positive way.
Right. Yeah. And you mentioned your husband, so I'm gonna get in that to that too. Tell us, how did you meet your husband, and how were you able to make that connection with him after being abused so badly? How were you able to make that connection and be able to love again and to be in a relationship? What helped you along, and let us know a little bit about your sweetie.
Okay. First of all, it was really difficult. I didn't really trust him at first. It took me quite a few phone calls, late nights talking with him, and I realized that he had the same aspects in life that I had and the same morals. And I thought it was really interesting that when we first talked on the phone, he said to me, and this is what made me fall even more for him, is because he said, I want to know you for who you are now, not what you went through. And that made it just so much more easier to open up to him and learn how to trust him. It was definitely very difficult. I'm not going to lie. It took me a whole lot just to get to where I'm at with him.
Yeah, you guys are awesome too. So if you had any advice that you would give the kids that have been through so much, everybody that's here has been through so much. They're away from home, away from their families. What would you suggest to them? What advice would you give them to continue to keep going?
Oh my gosh, I would definitely say, take up something that is creative, even if it's drawing, singing, dancing, even talking to a good friend, just somebody that you're well connected with. Even if it's an animal, animals are so uniquely bonded to you, and you could tell them just about anything and they will not hurt you. They will not disrespect you. They will not sit there and tell you to shut up, or it's you're putting yourself through your own self pain. You are able to release in a positive way versus a negative way. And I would say, just don't let what happened to you define who you are. You're so much more than that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Now, you changed your name to Lily Rose Lee. What made you decide I'm going to change my name from Michelle Knight? What made you decide to make that decision?
I felt deep within my heart I needed a change of life, and I wanted to feel like I was reborn again. So what I did is I chose things that I loved in my life and put it as my name. So for Lily was peace, love, and hope, and true at heart. My middle name was Rose. So my best friend had taken care of me through the abuse when I was younger, and she took me in for a little while, and that's how I came up with my middle name. And then for my son, I took his middle name as well, and I was like, this is who I'm gonna be now.
Well, it's a beautiful name, a great selection, and for a beautiful soul. I know you personally, so I'm just so proud of you every single day. Another question for you would be, so you after your name change, you don't have family. And I'm saying that with like this now, because for someone that doesn't have family, and what I mean, everyone listening is that are watching, is because Lily had to separate herself from her biological family due to her previous upbringing before being captured. She made the decision that was healthy for her. So I say you don't have family, but actually you do. So how did you create your new friends and family? How did you create that for yourself? Because you call all those people now.
For me, the chosen family that I chose may not be blood and may not be my biological, but they are truly my family because they're the ones that stood by my side when nobody else would.
And that's important out there for everybody to know, that sometimes the family that you have is not the family that is going to be your family, the biological family that you were born with. Sometimes we create family. And
Yes.
And that is the bond and the love that you share with that person. So you have an adopted dad,
Yes.
right? You have a dad who walked her down the aisle, right?
Yep.
And
sing karaoke on Fridays.
yes, I was getting ready to say that. She sings karaoke on Fridays. She tries to recruit people, by the way. So if you reach out to her, you might end up recruited into karaoke via Zoom. So, so what are the things that you like to do? Tell us some of your hobbies.
Oh my gosh, I got a lot of hobbies. I love painting. I love writing. I do creative songwriting as well. I play piano. I wanted to play the tuba, but unfortunately my arms were too short, so I couldn't do it. But I do love taking care of my animals. I do have a small rescue that I'm hoping to tell everybody about really soon, and it's going to be coming out. And I'm just super ecstatic on the things that I'm doing now. Like, I'm helping so many women and men across the world that's been through similar situations that I am in and that I was in, and just helping them get off their feet and choosing a better lifestyle for themselves.
Yeah. So if anybody follows her, she's on Facebook, she's on Instagram, she's on Twitter. She does respond. It is her responding, so which is great. Tell us a little bit about your animals. She loves animals, so I'm gonna start off with she's laughing, everybody, because how many dogs do you have?
I have 4 dogs. My one dog had passed away of cancer. Lord bless his soul.
But you have 4 dogs.
I have 2 ponies. I have 6 chickens. I have also 17 birds.
Yep, 17 birds. So
And
you can imagine.
I also have 2 hedgehogs. 2 hedgehogs, and I have a frail dragon that I just adopted,
Yes.
which me and my husband loves to death. And I also
Yes.
have two hamsters.
Yes. And the lizards, right?
Yep, that's the frail dragon. That's a
Frog
lizard.
dragon. Okay. Okay. So that's good. Yeah. You guys, listen. She has so many animals. She cares for them. That's part of her. That's part of her
But I just
healing.
want to let everybody know, just in case they don't get it confused. Some of the animals that stay with me don't actually stay with me forever. I'm a transition, just like with all of my other transitions, like with Lily's Ray of Hope. We transition abused animals and we find them good and healthy homes.
Well, thank you so very much. We appreciate everything. She has Lily's Ray of Hope that helps women and children that have survived abuse. She's working on so many other projects. She has her animal rescue, which she'll be announcing shortly here at the beginning of the year. So you guys, just amazing in the work that you're doing. Like, I know you're on the road now. So I want to open the floor for questions and comments for sure. Definitely, I would love to open the floor for questions and comments. So does anyone have any questions and comments? We would love to have your thoughts. And I think Candace, you're sharing that, correct? And I see we have one question already. Is it can you I'm gonna ask to unmute.
Hi, I'm Ileana. So I have a question. So like in the past, like I know it hurts you like a lot to go through that, and like I've been through some things that hurt me in the past, and like I'm trying to like I go through a counseling and I tell my counselor, and like they said, well, I take out my anger out on the world because of what happened to me in my past. And I just have so much anger in me from what happened to me, my grandmother. My grandma like is basically like tortured me, and she traumatized me a lot because of what she put me through. And I mean, I just don't know what to do because I have all the anger balled up. And I mean, every now and then, if I get upset, a little bit of that anger comes out of me, and I take it out on the wrong people that care about me and love me. And like I don't know like what to do with it sometimes, and I get scared that I might hurt the wrong person.
Did you
Well,
catch
yeah.
that, Lily?
Yes,
Okay,
I
good.
did. Sweetheart, the best advice that I can tell you is to figure out something really creative to do. And one of the things that I do with my anger, when I have a fit of anger that I want to let out, I love to do karate and kickboxing. You ever try that?
No.
You should definitely try that. It's a great stress releaser, and also it would help you maintain balance and self-control.
Okay, thank you.
You're very
That was
welcome.
good.
And then
Thank you so much for your question. Does anyone else have a question?
There's a question about therapy and if Lily had tried traditional therapy.
Oh, yeah. So did
Yes.
traditional therapy work?
I had tried traditional therapy. Unfortunately, it did not work for me. I chose writing therapy, art therapy, and equine therapy. Definitely worked for me.
Thank you. Yes, so Lily, if you go to her Facebook page, or if you guys are able, we could send some pictures of her riding a horse. How did equine therapy help you?
Equine helped me because you're able to tell a story without being told to be quiet, or you're going through your own self-pain, or you're putting yourself through your own self-pain. Equine therapy is a way to release your inner thoughts in a way to where nobody is controlling the situation. You're the one that's controlling it. The horse helps you by listening. And that's the best thing for a therapist to do, is listen. observe and give a response later. For me, my horse was a horsey mirror. In other words, how I felt, even though I didn't know I was feeling that way, he showed me by his reactions. And I had to watch and look at what he was doing. Like if his ears were down, he was like, I'm mad, I'm frustrated, and I don't know how to project it. And so he would brush against my body, just like a therapy animal would brush against your body and say, it's okay. You can tell me. I will be your safety net. And that's the best thing that you could have.
So basically making sure you reach out and you find something to channel that anger is what you're saying too. So
Yes.
yeah. Thank you so much. Thanks for your question for sure. Definitely channel that energy. Any more questions? Do we have some more questions? If so, unmute yourself and Lily will answer them for sure. Well, if you guys can think of anything, please definitely don't be shy. She's here to answer. So Lily, while we're waiting on someone to ask some more questions. So so you channeled your energy into being creative and you know, dealing with nature and animals. What do you do when you really, do you find that works all the time for you? Are there some things that do not work? And if so, like some of your favorite things don't work, what do you do then?
If some of my favorite things don't work, I will try inspirational singing. If that does not work, sometimes it's something so simple and crazy, people really don't think about it. I just go outside and scream off the top of my lungs, anything and everything. I would also take 15 seconds. I would cover my ears and just go like this and then unplug. And then for some odd reason, everything that I thought was so horrible melts away.
Yeah. So different things we can try. Different things you can try, but if they're not working. So in other words, keep trying. Keep trying is the best.
You gotta find what works for you. If one thing doesn't work, another thing might work. And even if that thing doesn't work at that point of time, there's always other things that might work. Like some people take a box of cereal and beat it, crunch it up, and then right after that they cook food. I found out that's another stress release. I can bake like you wouldn't believe.
Yes, you can. So what does anybody have any questions? More questions for her while she's in? You have her now.
So do you still live in Cleveland, Ohio, or did you move
Yes,
out?
I do.
Still live there? Okay. I just didn't know if that was a part of your therapy as well, leaving away.
No, unfortunately, if I ever did move, it would be to a farm.
Absolutely, with all of your animals, for sure.
Yes.
So, any other questions?
What about you?
Everybody's just listening. So your story was captivated around the world. And I mean, how is it when you're out in public? How do you handle the stress of the public and people recognizing you? Because shopping on a daily, like, what do you do? How do you handle that?
It is super difficult. Sometimes I get good people and sometimes I get not so good people. And the times that I get not so good people, I try to easily, say thank you. I hope you have a blessed day. I'm sorry that your day is going bad. I try to get away as quickly as possible. Because sometimes when you're shopping and you're shopping for clothes or you're eating or you're doing something, it's okay to come up to somebody, but Also give them time to sit down. Don't rush up so quickly to give them a kiss because they might not want that. It's okay to ask. As
Yeah.
long as you ask and you say, hey, I want a picture, is that okay? Perfect. Let's take a picture. But if you come up to me and you're snapping pictures at me, I'm going to be a little bit like, hello. All you have to do is ask. I'm not that horrible.
So everybody's always surprised. Do you mind sharing your height? Because you mentioned that you couldn't play the tuba. How tall are you? When people see you.
Okay, when I
mind?
say I'm the size of a miniature pony, I'm actually the size of a miniature pony. I am 4 foot and 5 inches.
You're small.
So I'm very tiny.
Thanks for sharing that, because everybody's always wanted to know how tall is she, and since you mentioned you couldn't put your hands.
Yeah, I
around
know
her
on TV it looks weird because they always have me in a little bit higher heels, so I'm look more taller than what I should.
Yes, Alexis, you have a question?
I don't really have a question. I just wanted to say, I've met you a couple times at the Purp Project, and I just love how you have been through something that was so horrible that nobody should have ever been through. And every time I see you, whether it's on TV, a movie, your spirit is beautiful. Like you're always so happy and you always keep it up. And I hear the things that you're telling us on how you did that and how you took the steps to do that. I could just never see you being sad or angry because your spirit, you're just always smiling and you're in a good space. And a lot of people who go through foster care, they come out and they think it's the end, and you've been through something, and I don't want to say worse than foster care, but pretty horrible. And your spirit is just beautiful. And I want to thank you for always sharing that and sharing a piece of
Having a great support system is a part of that. And if you don't have a great support system, it sometimes doesn't work out as planned because you would tend to get angry because you're all alone and you feel all alone. When I first got out of the house, I didn't have no support system. I didn't have anybody that came and talked to me. Nobody sat in the hospital room with me when I was sick. I was literally told I was dying in 2 days, and I had absolutely no one, not even family, not even a person that I can trust to actually talk to about my feelings. So now today, having a great support system and having a loving husband, good friends, and good people that you surround yourself with.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Thank you.
And she said, I thanks, Alexis, for that question. The other thing that I will say is that, because I personally know you, and one of the things that I noticed that is just what you have done is that you don't keep people around you that are negative, that are not positive. You get rid of, even if they've been your friends, you get rid of them if they are, and I don't mean get rid of them, but you disconnect yourself from the friendship, when you see it's not healthy for you.
Yes.
And when you know that, you do that, you tend to back away. So what advice would you give? Because we're going to wrap up here in a minute. What advice would you give for that? But how were you able to do that? And how important was that for you to disconnect from those negative people?
For me, it was very important because sometimes bad friends will take you down a road that you don't want to be on. And that's regardless of drinking, drugs, or anything for that matter. Just a person that wants to be by you just because of who you are is and what you went through is not as important as having friends that actually want to be your friend because they love you and care about you. That is the most important thing on earth, because I have taken so many people out of my life because of that reason. Because you do not need the stress, you do not need trauma in your life. Us as people that been through emotional trauma, physical trauma, sexual trauma, and goes even more, we do not need no more chaos in our life. We have had enough to last us a lifetime.
And on that note, Lily, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. You look amazing always.
Thank you.
Always love that lipstick. You look great.
You got me started on it.
I know. I love it. It looks great on you. Thank you guys so much. We're gonna go ahead and wrap up. I'm grateful. We could take one more if anybody does have a comment or question. Right now will be the time. If not, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much, Lily. I know you have to get back on the road. Thank you. We appreciate you. Mwah. God bless you. And we'll talk with you soon.
Too.
Bye.
Bye.